On the eastern edge of France, there is an industrial haven brimming with history, but it is not for the faint-hearted.
I've never seen anything like this before. So cool.
It's like little rollercoaster tracks.
In today's Urbandoned video, we are exploring the abandoned carreau wendel coal mine, which has sat dormant since the 1990s, half preserved as a heritage museum, whilst the rest remains derelict and hazardous to enter. Join us as we tackle the colossal site to see what remains.
Oh my god, you'll never guess what.
What is it?
95% of our viewers aren't subscribed.
95%?
That's alright man, calm down, there's still time to fix this. Hit subscribe with notifications on to never miss a future video.
Towards the end of our European road trip in 2023, we were coming up against some gigantic industrial sites on the eastern border of France. The carreau wendel coal mine had attracted us with its scale and intact overground structures, despite decades of abandonment. With one side of the facility preserved as France's most complete coal mine museum, the opposite end lies in ruin. Thankfully, a public park surrounding the premises meant that accessing the buildings didn't appear to be an issue. Our first aim was to find a way up the large structure, which was the washing plant. However, as we arrived, various vehicles had caught our eye amidst the darkness.
It's a unique start to this exploration.
Yeah.
Come across some abandoned trains.
And lots of them by the look of things. This is quite cool, isn't it? Because it's all coal related. A lot of these trains have bits on them that you definitely just don't see anywhere nowadays.
Most of these trains would have hauled clean and sorted coal away to steel mills and power stations, deposited downwards from the washing areas above through a chute and conveyor system. The passenger trains are likely to have been brought on site after closure, perhaps in relation to the museum.
Makes sense that there's trains here, running underneath this huge building. It's almost like a little depot with 8, 9, 10 tracks alongside each other. They would have come in and delivered useful materials. And there's probably overgrown tracks that run for miles in this area. Wow, they've stayed relatively intact, although the floor is collapsed over here. The insides, though, are better than what I expected from the state of the building. We've got an old map of all the train lines in the area. See, the different colours represent different lines, and there's clearly been a fire in here from the blackened marks. It's incredible that this is still visible, because it looks like these have been here for a long time.
inside this carriage now. Look at the overhead storage. Variegated. It's weird seeing passenger carriages stored here. I wonder why that was the case. Maybe workers would commute on these. That's why they ended up here. We hope this leads.
Oh yeah, it does lead.
Smells of fire in here. Yeah, first signs of machinery. I think these are the coal chutes.
Yeah, I'd say so. Looks like they're aligned with the tracks beneath.
Yeah.
Coal mine would then travel down here at the end of its process in this place and be delivered into the trains below, really.
Yeah, you can see there's a hole there, and it's perfectly aligned with the tracks.
The light behind this scale's a bit annoying. It's hard to see it as you walk up to it. It looks like it's stationed here, probably to weigh coal.
As we weaved through the unusual dark array of machines and conveyor belts, it was important to cautiously watch our footing. After almost 3 decades of vacancy, the deterioration in these sorts of premises can be fatal, with metal warping due to corrosion.
Mounds of coal still here. Christ, that's a interesting sound. Definitely wind on some metal rafters up above. It's been a while since we've come across a above ground mine like this. The last would have been Chatterley Whitfield. That was in 2018, 19 now. It's nice just to walk through with comfortability as well. It's a nice simple one. It's absolutely fucked in here. Got solid metal collapsing around us. Another huge room. It's an absolute network of coal chutes and conveyor belts. Yeah, we need to be careful where we stand in here.
Yeah. I mean, look at these steps. That'll scramble up. But this is definitely one of the main attractions. Oh, I've never seen anything like this before. So or old signage down this side further ahead,
It's like little roller coaster tracks,
isn't it? Even minecarts still left in these housings.
The first coal was extracted in June 1856 in the region, with shafts Wendel 1 and 2 at this facility, and more close by, sunk methodically over the next 3 decades, feeding a neighbouring steelworks. By the 1900s, the operation had dramatically grown, producing 3.8 million tonnes of coal annually.
You see why so many theme park rides are themed around a Western gold mine. It's a very fitting setting. I feel like we're walking through the ages though. Looking at this, it would all be done so much differently now. And this little red brick ghost town of old industry would never exist. This is a cool little cabin that overlooks this station. Even the controls are still there.
A deeper seam was discovered in 1935, prompting a third Wendel shaft to be sank, completed after World War II. With the first two almost a century older, it is no surprise it was Wendel 3 that was restored for the museum tour, 1 and 2 being the abandoned sections, left largely untouched since decommissioning in the 90s.
I think they'd be raised up this tower, like a lift shaft there. It would be remarkable to see this in working order. But never again in the condition it's in. Yeah, I can definitely hear the tour now outside. Heading up to another little cabin. I could see the controls from the ground floor. Interesting. This place is amazing. I thought this would be a switch room, this concrete box. This is cool. Although I can't make it out. So rusty. Love that old sign there. Back outside again. Changing buildings.
Yeah, heading back on ourselves. Try find some unseen parts. Another train line.
We still need to go up to the top of that one.
I know. It's just hard to find a way before.
Yeah. It is like a little ghost town, isn't it?
I was just thinking the exact same thing. I think the train lines definitely add to that feeling. It's extremely overgrown as well. Heading up in the washing plant now. These are quite cool. Don't know exactly what they are. It doesn't help that all these bits are in a different language, but it's definitely dated and original.
Climbing the tallest building. Look at this drum. Another really open room. And head up the staircase. God, this is so sick. You can see a gigantic hopper over there. First signs of graffiti I've seen there.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
But I imagine scrappers have gone ham on this place, which explains the wires on the floor.
I think we're getting towards the top end of the process in the wash plant. That natural light up there, reflecting off the orange brick outside, is quite nice.
It looks like a massive open room to our left.
I'm assuming that's the main processing area.
Yeah. This is still cool though. This is like the most complete bit yet. It's not that destroyed.
No, it's not actually.
And it's weird that this sits like 4 or 5 stories high as well.
I wonder what the purpose of this huge gap was here. It seems very empty compared to the rest of it.
Ducking under conveyors. These 2 massive wheels. Might be wrong, but these could be spares for the towers that there's 3 of on this site. Then again, they could be for something else. This conveyor leads off down to where we just came from. The only thing that remains is the rollers. These are some of the worst metal staircases I've ever seen. Because usually places like this are built to last through fires and other disasters that could happen when you've got huge pieces of metal working together. These are so warped, even the walkways as well. Make me uneasy. This is probably what the wheel I just saw was for. And obviously walking over these grids back to the concrete. This differs to the Chastley Whitfield colliery in many ways. There was never a room as big as this. Get up close to these generators. There's quite a few of them, 4 or 5. And a walkway that would allow workers to instantly be able to service them. The walkway now is no longer viable. Yeah, I found an alternate way, but it's still sketchy. You start to really appreciate concrete. Here's the other side though. Lovely light coming in here because the sun is facing this side. Cool gauge too. It's one of the only green things I've seen. Stands out like a sore thumb. See what's in some of these side rooms. Oh my god, that's what I'm talking about. Can't even trust gridded floor. It's literally collapsing. I can shuffle around it here though. Good grief. Get a great view of the winding tower. Floor, this looks like staff offices, but furniture and belongings are long gone. And here you can tell this would have been the canteen. But yeah, let's take a look over the whole side. What a cool place. Industry designed in a way that I've never seen anywhere in the UK. And it would have been even bigger as well. It's now a museum. There's another staircase with barely any steps. It'd be hard to film again, but I'm quite curious to see what the machines are up here. That one does not feel good. Damn, this is really cool though. All these wheels. I wonder if this is where they actually washed the coal. It's machinery I've never seen before, that's for sure.
At the mine's peak in the 1960s, 5,000 miners worked at the huge complex. The site's output started to lessen from this point though, as the French coal industry began to contract. Local pits sank at the beginning in the 1800s were closed shortly, Wendel 1 and 2 shutting down in 1989 and 1992, and finally Wendel 3 in 2001.
Get in between them here to have a closer look. See, they all have motors. And these troughs. There seems to be a separating system, so leads me to believe that this would be where the coal was cleaned before it made its way into the next step of the production process. So I'd quite like to get onto the roof. see how this fares. I'm not going to do anything if it's just ridiculous though. That seems okay. That seems okay. I feel like most of this video is just me looking down at my feet. From here though, the stairs seem to be alright. Keep one hand on the rail though at all times. It's probably been my favourite room of the whole place, this. The sheer scale of it. And all the natural light. And it's so intact with the machines too.
Clambering towards the roof, it had been a fascinating exploration. We had rarely seen an industrial site so dated, yet so intact and without much vandalism. Coal mines aren't types we frequently visit, so it was interesting to see a new layout of machinery and learn about the process. In 1985, a local initiative launched to preserve mining heritage, eventually renovating the Carreau Wendel coal mine into a museum opening in 2006. With the overwhelming history of the area above and below ground, and the generational connection to the region's people, it remains a core site on the European route of industrial heritage. Here are some of our photographs captured at the abandoned coal mine. If you like the look of them, check out our Instagram page in the description, where we share images from our explores months before they are seen on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We are going to be uploading videos at a more common rate over the next months, so we hope you are excited. See you next time.